Hey guys, Chris with 806 Vapes here. Yesterday you saw a video that we posted. You might be just seeing it today, showing a misleading interview done by a local news station here in Amarillo, Texas. We actually had a lung illness victim come in and tell us the truth and tell us what really happened and how they twisted his story to point it at vaping. I've got a few more things I want to tell you about today. And this is going to point more towards the collusion of the government versus the media. It talks a little bit about the media, talks a little bit about the government. But we want you to know what's happening. We want the public to know what's happening, not just vapors. We want you guys to know that there is a real problem here. It's a scary problem, and it's happening right under our noses. The federal government would like you to believe that the flavored vapor ban is to stop youth vaping in America. The majority of underage vapors in the United States are using closed system devices like Juul, Mark 10, Views, and Enjoy, and several others. We don't sell those products. Those products are owned by tobacco companies and sold at big box stores and major retailers in the United States. And that's where the youth vaping epidemic is coming from. For example, on March 4th of 2019, the FDA identified the companies listed below as the most egregious offenders of selling e-cigarettes to children. More than 35% of all Marathons, Exxons, Suncos, BPs, Citgos, and Mobiles in America have been selling to children. More than 25% of all Shells, Chevrons, Casey's, 7-Elevens in America have been selling to children. More than 15% of all Walmarts, Walgreens, Family Dollars, Kroger's, and Circle K's in America have been selling to children. This is not a flavored vapor problem. These companies listed are selling tobacco-flavored closed system devices, including mint and menthol. Mint and menthol are the closest things that you can get to a flavor from these companies. They gladly pulled all of their flavors off of the shelf because they know it's not the flavors that the people are looking for. The youth vapors, the majority of their consumers are looking for, but it's the buzz from the high nicotine levels that they're looking for. The FDA also stated on September 11th of 2018, exactly 1 year before President Trump announced his intention to prohibit all flavored vapor products, that the 5 brands comprising the vast majority of illegal sales were Juul, Views, Blue, Mark 10, and Logic. These companies are owned by Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, Imperial Tobacco, and Japan Tobacco. All of these brands are owned by tobacco companies. They're not owned by legitimate adult vapor stores. Our retail stores are 18 and over, and most of them are 21 and over now. We've implemented laws to prevent youth vaping in the United States. We've done our part. We've made the sacrifice. It's the tobacco companies that are not doing their part. They're selling to retailers that are not 18 and only stores. A 13-year-old can walk into any convenience store in the United States and have vapor products readily available to them. This can't be said enough. The vapor products actually targeting our children are all owned by big tobacco companies. And again, take note that all of these products, all 5 of these companies are closed system devices. If you don't know what a closed system device is, this is a closed system device that will use a pod like this that is pre-filled with liquid already. This is an open system device. You don't see teenagers carrying this around at school. You see them carrying this around at school. In the same statement from March of 2019, the FDA stated, if these trends of youth e-cigarette persist, we will be forced to consider regulatory steps that could constrain or even force close some of the opportunities for currently addicted adult smokers to have the same level of access to these products in order to protect youth. They are trying to convince you that banning flavored vapor products is going to stop the youth vaping problem in the United States. It won't. The majority of youth vapors and underage vapors in the United States are using closed system devices that don't even offer a flavor. The FDA in that statement laid out, I'm sure unintentionally, a guidebook for Altria, who once was Philip Morris and now owns a significant portion of Juul, to eliminate an alternative to Marlboro, chosen by 13 million Americans. And just to make sure that their message was heard, Altria, who owns Juul, who was Philip Morris, spent $2.45 million lobbying in the first quarter of 2019 to gain additional access and perhaps to orchestrate their nefarious plan. Juul employs or has employed as recently as October of 2018. This is where it gets crazy. Spencer Morrison, a 30-year FDA veteran, as Juul's Director of Risk Mitigation and Compliance. Jerry Matusow, former Chief Counsel of the FDA, as Chief Legal Officer. How better to get the FDA on your side? Ted McCain, a top policy aide to Paul Ryan as a lobbyist. You need somebody that knows somebody to get anything done. Jim Iskay, Obama's Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services. The same group that's going after flavored vaping products. Josh Raffel, former Trump communications aide. Maybe that's where he comes in. It was a shock. It was a shock to all of us that President Trump stood up and said what he said. Because he is a business guy. He is about promoting small business in the United States. So it shocked us when he came in. But hey, he's communicating an issue. And who the hell works for Juul but his former communications aide, Josh Raffel? Johnny DeStefano, former counsel to President Trump. There's another one right by his side. These employment facts are not made up by me. They're not something that I pulled out of thin air. They were obtained from the Wall Street Journal and ABC by a third party. Anecdotally but relevantly, regarding the two states that have moved the fastest to institute prohibition without due process, New York has spent $700,000 of Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement funds on golf carts and sprinkler systems for a public golf course other than tobacco youth prevention. So instead of spending the tobacco MSA money that they're getting from the tobacco companies on youth tobacco prevention, they're spending it on golf carts and golf courses. Surprise, surprise. Between 1999 and 2003, Michigan spent 75% of MSA payments on college and high school scholarships. That's great. What they spend on youth prevention tobacco? 0%. That's what they spent. Oh, they care about the kids. All of these sources for payments were derived from Public Health Law Center, Tobacco Free Kids, the United States CDC, and the New York Times. How is it possible that all my non-vaping friends and fellow citizens are not up in arms about this? The same sons of bitches that lied to us about chemicals in their cigarettes for decades are scamming all of us. We're being had. It's not just the vapor industry that's being scammed here. It's you, the public. There are ways to address the surge in youth vaping. I'm not advocating for doing nothing. We're not saying that there's not a problem. There's a problem. But banning flavored vapor products is not going to solve this problem. It's just going to make it worse because these aren't flavored. This is what your kid wants. Your kid doesn't want this. This is what I want. And all the other 40-year-olds in America. This is what we want. This goes from 18 milligram nicotine, which is damn near non-existent in the industry now, to 0% nicotine. It's tobacco cessation harm reduction. I have 3% nicotine in this. 3%. Which is mildly, it's almost non-existent. You could take it away and I probably wouldn't even notice. It's probably all in my damn head. 50%. 50% here. When I vape this, I know I've ingested nicotine. Trust me, you're going to know because you're going to get a buzz off of it. It's so much nicotine. We need to target the companies that are targeting our children like Juul, who is Alteria, who was once Philip Morris. We need to stop online sales. We need to restrict sales to adult-only retail locations, just like the state of Utah did yesterday. Hell, why don't we just ban the damn tobacco companies from participating in the vapor industry at all? Along with multiple other remedies we can all discuss with Donald Trump and the elected leaders of this country and these states that have a constitutional responsibility to protect public health. My non-vaping citizens out there are happy about the new prohibition because they think that the government is protecting the children. They believe the scam that they have been sold. You think your government is protecting your children. I don't think for a moment you meant us ill will or tactically support Marlboro. Yet you do us harm and you support Marlboro by accepting this scam. We don't blame you. You've been lied to. CNN, hell, News Channel 7 right here in Amarillo, Texas. They're all lying. They're all painting a picture that youth vapor products are the problem. When people started getting sick, the headlines read, man sick from vaping, teenager sick from vaping. Nobody mentioned the real problem, illicit THC cartridges. All the while, they're painting this story of a vaping epidemic. Their news channel cuts to commercial, and there's a commercial from Juul that probably cost $500,000 that was given to by that media outlet. Juul is paying these people to say this. Philip Morris is paying these people to say this. If you think they're not, you're out of your damn mind. Right now, at this moment, we need the public to do the right thing. We need our elected officials to do the right thing. This is not a red and blue issue. The governors of Michigan and New York are Democrats. President Trump is a Republican. And Marlboro's dollars are green. Guys, it's time to stand up. If they can send state police in to shut down private businesses with no due process, what's next? Stand up and listen and pay attention. A lot of the information I've given today was emailed to me through a social media post. It was copy and pasted. I never saw the original author. I can't find who sent it to me because my social media is going crazy. If anyone knows who wrote the post that has all those facts in it, a lot of the words come directly from it. I'm not taking credit for this information. Please let me know who it was so I can give them credit. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't believe the bullshit you're being sold. and let's stand up. Let's do something. Thanks.